Hello, everyone. Welcome to We Shine, We Grow, a space where we focus on real, tangible, and intangible growth mentally, spiritually, physically, and in everyday life. And whether we realize it or not, when there is empty space in our lives, something is going to fill that space. It may not be something that we truly desire consciously. So here we make sure that it's the right things, such as self-love practices, humanitarian efforts, building interdependence, getting out in nature, carrying empathy for others and ourselves, and having genuine gratitude for our past, present, and the very blessed future ahead of us. We also believe in setting time aside for rest without guilt or shame, and creating order and structure in our day-to-day lives, all while not neglecting the inner work, the outer work, and inspired actions that sustain the beautiful lives we all desire to lead. Um, there was a philosopher named Aristotle. He lived 2,000 years ago, but what he taught still applies today. He believed that the way we lived our lives comes down to our habits, our choices, and finding balance. And one idea he had was that empty spaces doesn't stay empty. Something always fills it. So the question today is, what are we allowing to fill our lives? So, this one hit home for me is very personal. I, am an avid video game player, to be honest with you. I like to play 2K. I could play it all day. This year, I kind of went crazy with the builds. If you know anything about that game, I made every position, multiple people at different positions even, because I like the different aspects of playing point guard, playing shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, doing the different dirty work down low, sometimes as a big, or playing guard and, setting up my teammates, or being that go-to scorer, you know what I mean? So it's a lot of fun for me, but I can lose myself in that. And as a father, a husband, somebody that has to lead a household, I can't just play video games all day, of course, right? So the quote that Aristotle had was, nature abhors a vacuum, basically. And basically what that means is whenever you have free time, you're going to fill that time with something. A lot of times, somebody asks you, what you doing? You be like, oh, nothing, man. I'm just playing a game, or nothing. You're just kind of watching TV, maybe binge watching something on Netflix, or, you might even, be doing something that you enjoy doing, but it's not really producing anything for your life. It's not really allowing you to achieve your goals and your dreams, right? So this is where we want to be more intentional with our time. We want to create a little bit of structure around what we're doing, have some order to our lives, right? So basically, and if you see me looking off to the side, I have some notes to kind of like keep me on track. But yeah, without structure, chaos kind of fills it. And, chaos might not be literal chaos like, you're fighting in the streets or something crazy is happening around you. But chaos can just be that you're on the phone, talking about nothing for an hour or 2 hours, right? And it's good to have connection with people and things of that sort. But again, like if you have purpose, you have goals, you create structure, you can still have time to have those conversations. But maybe before you have that conversation, you're getting something done on your goals list, you know what I'm saying? And you want to create small steps so that you're not having to do everything all at once, right? You want to, do it in small increments, chewable, digestible things that you can get done, right? But as you keep continuing to build there, you're actually making progress towards, your greater goals, and you're able to then, when you have that time to relax, or, maybe even for somebody like myself, I want to get a game of 2K in, or two, or whatever, I'll have time to do that, knowing that I accomplished, the goals that I set out for myself. So it's just becoming more intentional with your time, right? And then also the other thing is, without encouragement, doubt can fill that time, right? So, like a lot of times, we get to scrolling on Facebook or YouTube or TikTok, Instagram, whatever, like your main social media app is that you go to, right? And you kind of get in a comparison loop, or you're watching funny videos and that's making you feel good, kind of, but then you're still, you look at the time and you're like, dang, it's almost time for bed. You know what I'm saying? And you haven't really gotten anything done, and you're not really feeling like maybe motivated for the next day, or you're feeling like every day is just like the same thing over and over again, right? So what I've done, you could even look at my background. I've created motivation just all around me, scriptures that motivate me, quotes that motivate me, right? I'm listening to solfeggio frequencies. Even now they're playing in the background right now, because it creates a calm environment, you know what I mean? And when you're trying to do positive things, when you're trying to create, ease in your nervous system, it's so important that you make an environment that's conducive for that, right? You don't want to be, just kind of letting the wind blow you whatever direction, and you don't have, like these things that are kind of like pulling you back on track, right? You know what I mean? So create an environment for yourself. It doesn't have to be this, many words. Maybe words don't inspire you. Maybe if you're an athlete, have posters of Kobe Bryant, of Michael Jordan, of, whatever greats kind of motivate you. Or maybe it's more current players. Maybe it's SGA, maybe it's Wemby, somebody like Anthony Edwards, or whatever the case may be. But, just make sure that whatever it is that you're setting yourself out to do, that you're creating an environment that's going to help bring that about, because subconsciously our mind is always picking up wherever we are, you know what I'm saying? So you want to fill that gap with something that's positive, instead of allowing it to just be filled by whatever the wind blows your way. Okay, and then I'm going to look off to my notes one more time. So the other thing is, without a vision for the future, and getting to your desires, right, often fills with distraction, and like I said, for me, that could be 2K, and I used to smoke weed, sometimes, like, and it would just kind of get me in a calm state. My body would feel calm. I'd be able to kind of just float off in my mind. But once again, it's not producing anything for me. It's not getting anything done for me. It's drying out my mouth. Like, now I'm having to find ways to hydrate better, because like whatever hydration I did prior to that got wiped away, from smoking, and just feeling dry on the inside, and all of that, right? You know what I mean? And then, if there's certain job opportunities, I might not be able to go out for this job now, or let's say I get inspired to create a video, my mind's, kind of spacey, it's gonna come out wrong. You understand what I'm saying? So like, these are the type of distractions that, for me, like I said, taking it personal to me, can fill my time and keep me in a state where I'm not able to really be fully present the way that I should, and show up for my family, show up for my my job, or whatever it is, or show up for this channel, show up for the type of inspiration that I'm trying to embody 24/7. You understand what I'm saying? So I had to kind of like cut that out. I had to, create structure around 2K. I've just taken a break right now so that I can focus on my channel. You know what I mean? So like, I want to be sure that, I'm not telling you guys something that I'm not applying myself. This is something that is near and dear, to my heart, to what I'm trying to accomplish in my life. You understand? So just wanted to share this really quickly. I'll have more content coming in the future. Maybe might make a couple more videos today with some more inspirational quotes that came to me recently, or what have you. But just be blessed, and like I said, be intentional with your time. Come up with a plan. find little things. It doesn't have to be anything major. We all have the same 24 hours in a day. So, just make it like three things that you want to, three things that might take you just 5 minutes to do. Like if you have fitness goals, like I do, I've been doing 10 push-ups a day. Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's actually paying dividends each day that I'm doing them. I got these push-up bars, so it's not just like me getting on the floor. It's like it's more focusing on my chest, and it's been helping me out a lot. You know what I mean? So something as simple as that doesn't take a lot of time. And then I do 1 minute planks. Literally takes 1 minute, but feels like the longest minute in the world when you're doing them. But it's very helpful to building my core strength, and it's about consistency. So just find those little things, like I even had a channel called S.H.I.N.E, We Grow on Facebook, and I had challenged everybody to just write 5 things that you're grateful for every day. Doesn't even have to be 5. You could knock it down to 3, 2, whatever. But it's about building that muscle, building that consistency. You know what I'm saying? Like I think of it like a good NBA player. Like let's talk about SGA. Like he just broke Wilt Chamberlain's record for the most consecutive 20-point games in a row, which is crazy when you think about how the NBA players play 82 games a season if they make it to all of them. I know it's load management and all this stuff, but every time he suits up, he's dropping 20 at least. You know what I mean? And that's that level of consistency. I mean, we see these great games like Bam Adebayo had 83-point game, right? But I'm not even sure if he's a 20-point scorer a game on the average. So it's nice to have those 83-point breakouts. Not that they happen every day, because it's the second highest scoring game in NBA history, right? But my point is, like, the 40-point games, the 50-point games, those are great. But can I rely on you for 20 every night? You know what I mean? Like, so just find your 20 in your life, so that you can start to build momentum towards your dreams and your goals. All right, we shine, we grow. Have a blessed day.